How is your pre-workout different than other ones? That's a question I got on Instagram, and in this episode, I'm going to go over my response. So in this episode, my answer to this question to the gentleman, it's not going to be strictly about SMB pre-workout. It's going to combine the pre-workout and also touch on the values of SMB Nutrition as a company. So there are 3 points in my response to him. This is going to be much longer than my direct message to him. The first one is dosage. So SMB pre-workout. There are 6 active ingredients in the supplement. The amount of each of those ingredients is based on well over a year worth of research that I conducted. The goal of that research was to produce a product that would boost performance for somebody in 3 key areas, and that's focus, pumps, and energy. Now, the supplement facts are available on the website smbnutrition.com. It's also in the highlights of my Instagram, which is @HowardsBlend, and also @SMB Nutrition Co., C-O at the end. So anybody's available to take a look at the supplement facts of the product. I suspect that there are people out there that have a working knowledge of supplements or a detailed knowledge of supplements that would look at the product and the supplement facts and think, 6 ingredients, why not more? I've seen pre-workouts, Howard, that had 9 ingredients, 10 ingredients, more than that. Why only 6? Well, the quick answer to that is research. The same people or different people may also think, why didn't you put more of citrulline in it, more of the active ingredients in it, more citrulline, more alpha GPC? The quick answer to that is money. So to give a detailed response, research. So as I said, I spent over a year researching the ingredients. And the 3 goals of my research that I conducted, thorough research, now I think it was thorough, was to first and primarily, what's the mechanism of the supplements? How is it supposed to work? How's it supposed to benefit somebody? The second is dosage. So what's the dosage range? Based on the papers that I read and any research that's been done, clinical studies, etc., what is the range with which the supplement provides the benefit? And then 3, any side effects. Is there a side effects of that particular ingredient? More likely, yes, there's usually always side effects, but what are they? Are there side effects with combining 2 or more ingredients? Also add to that, I wanted to get the product out. I have a PhD, and this is borrowing from Mr. Paul Chek, C-H-E-K. So credit to him for this. PhD, he says, is piled higher and deeper. I have a PhD in procrastination. Any of y'all who watch and or listen to podcasts regularly know that just getting the supplement company started was over a decade-long process of procrastination, dealing with that. So I wanted to get the product out there. So I had a kind of conversation with myself and eventually came with, all right, Howard, let's just go ahead and get the product out now. You know enough on the ingredients in it. I mean, alpha GPC's in it. I did a 2.5-hour live on choline. So, I mean, I dug into it and boatload of resources. So I've done the legwork with the ingredients currently in it. Let's go ahead and get the product out, start working on that. And then in the meantime, you can always research more ingredients. So in the future, if you want to have a version 2 or version 3 with exchanging ingredients, or maybe there's a new ingredient that comes on the market, then you can improve upon it. It's always about improvement. But in summary with the dosage is, I have faith in the product. I believe in the product. I mean, I spent over a year just researching this alone and over a decade procrastinating to get it started. I believe in it, and I believe it's going to help people. So I said, let's go ahead and get it out on the market now so that anybody that uses it can experience what I've experienced from it. So for the second question, why not more of the active ingredients already in the product? And I said the short answer is money. Well, not only did I want to make a product that I believed in and that I know would help people, but I wanted to make it at a reasonable price. I wanted to sell it at a reasonable price. I'm a dad. I have a 4-year-old, and I know kids are expensive. I have a 9-to-5 job too. And the supplements are really a side gig. I eventually want to make it my main gig, but they're a side gig. So I say all that I understand like money is tight, especially now with inflation and prices going up. Things are not cheap. So I wanted to make an effective product, but one that people could afford and it wouldn't break the bank. I certainly could put a lot more citrulline. I could double the amount of citrulline to make it the maximum effective dose. But I would have to raise the price on it in order to make a profit. And that's not going to help people. It's a performance enhancement supplement, as I mentioned in the previous episode. In my opinion, there's no direct health benefit of pre-workout supplements. So it's really a luxury for people to use pre-workouts. So I wanted to make it more accessible to people by selling it at a reasonable price. It's $40 for 30 servings. If I compare it, and I did, compared it to similar products on the market, I think it's a fair price. And to be transparent, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, if I don't make a profit off of it, then I can't continue making products to help people. That's my goal, is to help people. I talked about taking your workouts to the next level, becoming a better version of yourself in spirit, mind, and body. Well, I can't produce the products to help people if I don't make a profit. Number 2 is no proprietary blends. I said I wouldn't do this, but I don't know, my GoPro usually doesn't show the supplement facts too well. But no prop blends. If you watch videos on supplements, listen to podcasts, whatever, you'll often hear proprietary blends abbreviated as prop blends. I had a whole episode on proprietary blends. Boy, this was a year, 2 years ago or something like that. I should do an updated episode on that just in case. In reality, I probably got something wrong, but yeah, I'll do an updated episode. In short, what a proprietary blend is pretend you're looking at a supplement facts. So, you got the ingredients on the left if you're looking at, and then the amount on the right, how much of each ingredient. And you see something, we'll just say like skin splitting pump blend. And then to the right, it'll say 10 grams. I'm just making up numbers. It could be, usually it's like these really exuberant names. And I think even the FDA's regulation or the literature on proprietary blends, because the FDA does permit it. That's something to keep in mind. I believe it says fanciful name. Supplement companies will even trademark their proprietary blend name so no one else can use it. Or at least they can use it, but they can be liable legally for it. But it has the 10 grams for the skin splitting pump blend, whatever. And then underneath it, it'll list maybe 5 ingredients, 10 ingredients, 20 ingredients. I've seen 30 or more ingredients in a proprietary blend. So the idea is the first ingredient is the most abundant of that 10 grams. And then it's like descending order. It goes down from there as you go on and on and on. The knock, what people will say a negative of proprietary blends is that you don't know how much of ingredient 1, ingredient 2, ingredient 3, so on, how much of each of those ingredients is in that 10 grams. So it's not a transparent label. Personally, I don't have a problem with proprietary blends. I'll go into this more detail, but big reason is because it's legal. Now, is it morally right? That's another question. But legally, the FDA permits it. So the supplement companies are following the law. But I don't have a problem with it. However, I do not want to put it in my product. Because one of the core values, I said I would talk about this earlier, and now it's coming up, one of the core values of SMB nutrition is transparency. I talked about the core values before. Since then, I've actually consolidated them into 3 core values, which is transparency, accountability, and integrity. And transparency. I want you to know what you are taking. I don't want you to take a supplement and say, oh, it's SMB Pre-Workout blend or something, and then it lists all the 6 ingredients, but you don't know how much of each is in there. So you don't know, well, if I'm spending $40 on a bottle, am I getting the clinical dosage, what is seen in the studies to produce the positive outcome? Am I getting the clinical dosage of citrulline in this or not? You don't know. Now, I've done videos before, stories, etc., where you can kind of, based on what's in the product and what the supplement companies have to list in the amounts, depending on what's in the proprietary blend, you can kind of estimate how much it is. But other than that, you would have to get it like an analysis on the product to break it down, like have a lab do it. But I want to just be more transparent. I believe in the product, so I don't need proprietary blends. I can put it out there. This is exactly what's in the product. Now, number 3, and I guess I should say it, I didn't mention it earlier, that kind of what the gentleman who sent me this message was getting at is, what is your USP? That stands for unique selling point. What is your points of differentiation? What makes you different? Why should I buy your product over somebody else's pre-workout? And number 3 is really a true point of differentiation, and that is me. I've watched a number of YouTube videos, podcasts, etc. on like building a brand to kind of understand, like, all right, let me know the basics of like building a brand. And it was mentioned numerous times that if you're just starting out, using yourself as a USP, a unique selling point, is not a good way to go. And I understand their point makes sense. The primary reason against doing that is nobody knows who you are. You're brand new. I mean, if tomorrow The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, came out with his own brand of bubblegum, it's going to sell immediately because people know who he is. If nobody knew who he was, then it would take more than likely a lot more work for him to sell it. And he may or may not be a good idea to use himself as a unique selling point because nobody knows who he is. And like I said, it makes sense. Yeah, nobody knows who I am. Why would I use myself? But thinking about it, SMB Nutrition was born out of my experiences and passion. It was born out of me getting sick when I was 17 years old and then losing over half my body weight and then almost dying multiple times. It was born out of, even before that, getting into weightlifting, wanting to be a bodybuilder, not being able to go into bodybuilding because it would have killed me because I lost all the weight and got sick. And then eventually now transitioning into, I want to lift weights, just try to make myself healthy and become a better version of myself. Spirit, mind, body. Had to throw that in there. It was born out of my passion, I'm going to use that word again, for supplements. When I was wanting to put on weight, when literally it was life and death to put on the weight, I remember using, this was well over 2 decades ago, I remember using Joe Weider's Mega Mass 4000, which is really just, I used the chocolate flavor. It's really chocolate flavored powdered sugar is all it was. But I was desperate. I needed to put on weight or else I'm going to be 6 feet in the ground. And I remember mixing it with like ice cream and whole milk to add extra calories. I mentioned this before. I remember using Ultimate Orange when it had ephedra in it before it was banned. And even when I worked at the gym, I worked at a health club for over a decade, and I worked at the front desk. The members of the club would ask me for advice on supplements. I remember even writing out weightlifting programs because we had a lot of high school students coming, like especially during the summer. This club would give special deals to high school students to come work out when they're off school. And I remember writing out programs for the football players at the high school, like, oh, yeah, you want to focus on deadlifts, squats, writing out the reps and sets and everything. But they asked me for my advice on supplements, and I would go into, okay, this supplement does this, these are potential side effects, are you taking these types of medications? More than likely, really big liability issue, but only you and I know about that. So I have this love for supplements, and this is what SMB nutrition was born out of. So I feel it's integral to the point of differentiation is my passion for it. This podcast coincides with the M in SMB nutrition, mind. I'm here to provide a service to you all by providing education, information on supplements, on my journey, like I'm doing now, when I've talked about my opinions on pre-workouts, etc., documenting my journey, my experiences, positives, and a lot more negatives than there is positives, but negatives are a learning experience, with the hopes that you all out there, if you're in the same place or you're about to be in the same place, or maybe years from now somebody's in the same place, that they can avoid some of the pitfalls that I encountered. And I learn from you all too. That's why pretty much every episode, especially in the supplement science episodes, I ask, hey, agree or disagree? Did I get the science wrong? Let me know. I want feedback, so I learn from you all too. It's a mutual exchange. I consider my job to be an accomplishment if somebody out there who never buys SMB Pre-Workout, SMB Nutrition's SMB Pre-Workout, they never buy any products, even when I'm making 2 and 3 and 4 different products. They never buy a single one. However, based on this podcast, whether they go to GNC, Vitamin Shop, Walmart, whatever store, Amazon, whatever, and they're about to buy a product, they say, wait a second, there's a lot of hype with this product. I see a lot of ads for it saying that it works. But based on Howard's blend, let me take a look at the supplement facts. Like I've said before, I want you to learn to turn that bottle and take a look at what you're actually consuming. And by looking at the supplement facts, they realize, oh, well, this product is great, or this product actually goes with what Howard said is, the ingredients are in the proper form or bioavailable in the proper dosages. So cool, I'm getting my money's worth. Or they look at it and say, oh, this is not really great. Maybe I need to look for another product. And so they become a more informed consumer and a more educated consumer. My job is done. I consider that an accomplishment, because now their hard-earned dollars, which we talked about, especially now, everything's more expensive, their hard-earned dollars now are going to go further, but also what they're buying is going to give them better results. And that's what we're buying it for, is to get the results, the performance enhancement. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap it up by a summary. The first 2 points that I listed, they're not really unique selling points. They're not points of differentiation. There's a myriad of other companies that use proper dosages. There's a myriad of other companies that don't use proprietary blends. The clinical dosage, proper dosage, that's been around forever. So I guess you could say for SMB nutrition, proper dosages, it's unique compared to this group, and I'm have my hand doing a circle off to the left off the camera here. This group of companies that don't use proper dosage or use less than what's shown in the studies. It doesn't mean if a company doesn't use proper dosages or clinical dosages, that doesn't mean everybody's not going to get a result from it. There are probably people that will get a result from it. It's just not what's seen in the studies or not what's documented to be effective. No prop blends will be a unique selling point compared to these groups of companies, I'll put it here, over here that use proprietary blends. But the one true unique selling point is me, because thank goodness there's no other Howard blend in the universe. I would say, to wrap it up, that just like your personal goals or my personal goals, my professional goals change over time. Like I mentioned it earlier, how I wanted to be a bodybuilder. And then now I don't have any interest in being a bodybuilder anymore. The goals of your company will change too. And so right now, these are the 3 unique selling points. But next year, maybe one of those will be gone. It's something else. Or, maybe it's 4 then unique selling points or whatever. Maybe then it won't be just me. Maybe I would have evolved into something else. And I really wanted to say that I guess it's not so much changing your goals change. It's just they evolve. Because even though I don't want to be a bodybuilder anymore, I still like lifting weights. So it's not like I completely got away from lifting weights. It's just my goals have evolved. I kind of like that better just thinking about it now. So hopefully this helps. And that's it. So if you have any questions, comments, cheers, jeers, whatever, agree, disagree, I'm always open for the discussion. My contact information will be in the description of the show. Feel free to comment on the video, and I will get back to you ASAP. If you are looking to take your workout to the next level with amplified pumps, increased energy, and enhanced focus, head on over to smbnutrition.com, Spirit, Mind, Body, and pick you up some SMB Pre-Workout, aka SMB Pre. You can use coupon codes HAHOMES or SHAO Fitness, SHAO Fitness. Either one of those gets you 10% off your purchase. That's it. I'm extremely tired, not much sleep, but I wanted to get this done. So, thanks for listening or watching. And until next time, can't think of anything. I'll just say, take care. Adios.